You are watching part 6 with Dr. Jawad Hashmi. This is the last episode with him. I hope you have already watched part 1 to 5 with him and have enjoyed as much as I have talking to him. Please let me know what you think of any of the episodes with him or the whole series. You can write to me through my website or any other platform that you are comfortable with. Please visit my website at lightupwithshua.com. Thank you. So how important is money for you at this time?
So money is very important. And money is important because it's freedom. That's the reason why. And unfortunately, one of the downsides of living in America is the higher education, the way the tuitions are sky high. And so I want to tell people to go study whatever you want, and that's what I have said. But then you also get saddled with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. And debt is slavery. And when you're in debt, then you are forced to do a job that's the only reason why I have to work so much in the hospital is because of all of not only debt, but also you get what's called golden handcuffs. Your friends drive certain cars, it all has an effect on you, even if you don't want it to have it.
Yep.
And so I do think money would be liberating. If I wish that, I always wish that some old guy somewhere is going to see my work and say, you know what, I'm going to give my will and I'm going to will $1 billion.
That's a good.
And then I could quit my hospital job and I could just study ancient books and put stuff out there. And so I do think money is important. And that's why I think it is important for people in our community who become entrepreneurs and make a lot of money. I have no problem with that. I think that's very important to do. But then if you're going to do that, then invest that money into the community and invest that not only in charitable works. We do a great job of that. Muslims do a great job.
Yeah, but
one thing we don't do is invest in think tanks, in cultural developments, institutions. So that's really,
that's
I think,
very important.
I say this somewhat bitterly. I say that people like me and other people who are interested in this thing. So I have a friend. He's a professor now. He's a young professor. He just graduated from Harvard. He's a professor now at a small university. Honestly, he makes less than a manager would make at a fast food chain. So that is that shows how little we value intellectual thought.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know this person personally. He is studying some amazing ideas and he's creating knowledge. Yet we don't value knowledge. So we pay somebody millions of dollars to put a ball into a round hoop. We pay millions of dollars, but we don't pay people who are thinking about philosophy, religion, humanity. The thing that makes us human being, we don't value. So so the answer is it is very important, but it's important not to fixate on it. So that's why I do think those traditional religious values of a level of asceticism in the sense of not getting into the glitz and the glamour, because that is also slavery then to buy big cars, big houses. You're going to be working till you're dead then. And you won't be able to do those things that you were actually meant to do on earth. So money is important, but it's only a means. It's not the end. So that's what I say.
Yeah. Very nice. Very good. I'm sure you have a lot of value of time. What is your value of time?
Time, again. Nothing.
How would you define time? Yeah.
Time is, it really is that, our lifespan is a flash. And this is what I think our religion teaches us, that you may die tomorrow. And in fact, if you think of the early prophet's life and in the Quran, there's this impending sense of doom in the sense that the universe and the world is going to come to an end. And people might read that now and say, oh, that's inaccurate. The world didn't come to an end. Look how many generations have passed since then. But really, if you look at since human beings have been alive, the entire species, it's a blink of an eye compared to the grand scheme of things. And now I'm sitting here, in my mid-30s, if you even want to be generous. And I look back and I say, I feel 25. But I blinked and now I'm, almost 40. And life goes by really quickly. So value your time and use it wisely. So,
That's a good advice, and especially to the young youths, right? Who thinks that they have a lot of time,
yeah,
right?
you do not have a lot. Think about what you want to do, and try to put some good out there in the
Yeah.
world. And again, this is also a traditional value compared to,
Yes.
I think in the West we have this idea of, enjoy life and do whatever
Yeah.
you want. And I do think it's important to enjoy life, but it's also important to know that your time on life is limited, so make it meaningful.
Meaningful.
And I think that
Meaningfully, you can enjoy. I mean,
meaningfully you
I
can.
mean, I'm enjoying this. I'm doing some fun work.
I
That's
agree.
yeah.
But
So
you're enjoying doing meaningful work, not
yes,
enjoying
exactly.
wasting
Mindless.
time like
Exactly.
going to bars and
Yeah. So I would be very interested in learning from you. What is your view about, is this life an illusion, or what is it?
yeah, that's another great profound question that you've asked. So it's interesting that our Islamic philosophers and theologians have spoken about this in the past.
Mm-hmm.
There's even people now, Western philosophers, intellectuals, who are saying maybe this entire universe that we're living in is a simulation.
Yeah.
I think that the answer is yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I think that yes, it is an illusion in the sense that uh, I do believe in an existence after this life, which is more important than this life. I can't prove that. I can't say that for certain. It is a belief that I choose to believe in, but I think that makes this life more meaningful to believe in that. I think if you don't believe in that, you can get into nihilism. So it's an illusion in the sense that the next life is more important,
Okay.
but it's not an illusion in the sense that what we do in this world matters, precisely because it has an effect in our next life. And at some point in time, it doesn't really matter, I would say, if it's a simulation or not, because you have effects that you feel and others around you feel. So, and this relates to a philosophical debate in the Islamic world about whether causes and effects are real, or are they just an illusion. So does A cause B, or does A just happen with B and the cause illusory? And this is a big debate. But the point to me is that it doesn't matter, because as long as we see these causal connections in this world, it seems like that to us. And for all intents and purposes, it influences us in that way. It doesn't really matter to me. So, but and in the more existential way than I think that you're trying to ask it, I would say, yes, it's an illusion in some sense, but it's very real in another sense. It's real only insofar as it's important for the next life and the preparation. So that's how I would answer that.
Okay, thank you. What would you do differently today if you knew that there was no tomorrow?
In the sense of if I would die today, or more, okay, in that sense.
Yeah.
I've thought about that, and I would have some regrets in the sense that, many regrets, of course. I would say that I've put myself on this trajectory it's a very long trajectory for me to even bear any fruits. And if my life were cut off now, I would feel very bad that I was never able to bear that fruits. And so I do think about that, and that makes me think, I don't know what God's plan is for me, so I think that I do, but you're right, I could get cut down tomorrow, and that would be the end of that. So maybe that's more reason for me to think about making sure that I make meaning, I have meaning making in my personal relationships and family and all that stuff, that the weaknesses that I told you about earlier. So that pushes me more in that direction.
But yeah, I mean, if you are trying your level best to, put that fruit out, and I assume that is the Islamic studies, and you want to produce and write and all. But then, being a Muslim and delving into this, don't you think this is what it is? Like, wherever you reach, that's the limit you have. I mean, that's exactly right. So, all right. So I guess you are, you do believe in death, and you're not afraid of death, are you?
I have this delusion that I was sent, and I know it's a delusion, so that I feel like God sent me down on this earth to do something, and that I have the feeling that I'm not going to be taken away before I'm able to do that, but that's a delusion,
That's
and no
right.
one can say
Because you
that.
don't know
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you
Uh,
don't even know that how much you can do,
right,
right?
absolutely.
Right?
So
So,
I would say that yes, I would fear death in that sense of living an unfulfilled life, even in the sense of um, I think about going back to a high school graduation, or like you see an old friend from a long time ago, and now you think, okay, I'm in my mid 30s now. Have I really accomplished what I've done meant to do in my life? Many of us feel that way, and I certainly do. So with death, those things are multiplied, right? You want to feel that you did something beneficial with your life. So I think that's why these beliefs are so important in Islam and in religion in general, is because it's intended to create this existential crisis within yourself so that you do these things. And so that's what I see.
good, very good. All right. So, my last question is,
Yes, please.
what lights you up?
Yeah, I think two things light me up.
Okay.
And those are two things that we've already talked about. But the first is what I'm doing with my life as far as this new trajectory that I'm going down. So I absolutely do light up when I'm sitting in my library reading a book by Ibn Rushd or by Zali, and I read it and I light up. And when I see the connections and I write about it, or when I share it with other people, this lights me up, and you can see it in me that I light up when that happens. And you can see it by how high my voice. My wife always complains my voice gets very high when I get excited, and so you can see that the higher my voice goes. So, so that's the first thing. And so that's why I think that's why I was meant to do this.
Okay.
And then the second thing that lights me up for sure is family. I would say. That my wife lights me up, my mother lights me up, all my family,
That's very nice.
my nieces and my nephews, that definitely lights me up. So
Perfect. Very nice. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate all your replies and everything you shed light on, and I hope I learned a lot. I hope others who are listening or watching you will learn too. This will be
so rambling. But,
no. This will be in coming in parts.
okay.
So, where can we find, if anybody wants to learn about what you're working on, or do you have a website, or any links? Would you like to share those?
So, unfortunately, I've been a social media hermit for a few years, and there's a reason why.
Okay.
I'm just starting to get out of my shell now. The reason is you want to reach a certain point before you just start voicing your opinions. Otherwise, you won't be taken seriously as an academic. So I just started coming out of my shell a little bit. I do have a Facebook and Twitter, but I don't update them, so that's not very useful right now. What I would say is I have lectures on YouTube with the Ghamidi Center of Islamic Learning on Islamic intellectual history. So maybe you can link to those. 10-part lecture series on Islamic intellectual history. So that's a good place to start. I can be reached by email, Javad_Hashmi@mail.harvard.edu.
So I'll put your links and email in our show notes.
Sure. And I think it's still a good idea to add me on Facebook and Twitter, because I think within the next few months I'll be more active.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Really, thank you. Have a good week.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for watching part 6 with Dr. Javad Hashmi. This was the last episode with him. Please remember to subscribe, share, rate and review Light Up with Shua podcast, and your comments are really appreciated. Your support is through commenting and sharing this podcast, and letting me know with your constructive feedback what you think and how can I improve. And till next week, stay well, stay healthy and safe. Bye.